Most people don't notice when their peace starts fading. It doesn't disappear overnight. It fades through constant reaction, through explaining too much, caring too much, responding to things that never truly deserved your energy. At first, it feels normal. You stay available, stay responsive, stay emotionally engaged, but internally, something becomes heavier. Rest stops feeling fully restorative. Silence feels unfamiliar, and calm starts feeling temporary. That isn't weakness, that's emotional saturation. Modern life quietly encourages constant reaction. Messages never pause. Opinions never stop. Expectations keep growing. And when everything demands attention, clarity begins slipping away. Strong individuals eventually recognize this pattern, usually after emotional fatigue, after disappointment, after realizing constant reaction rarely creates peace. And that awareness shifts everything. You begin observing more, reacting less, listening more, explaining less, protecting energy. Instead of distributing it everywhere, that shift feels subtle. But psychologically, it's powerful. Because attention shapes emotional experience, and emotional experience shapes perception. Once attention becomes selective, mental noise reduces. Conversations feel lighter, decisions feel clearer, and internal pressure starts easing. You stop carrying every opinion emotionally, stop internalizing every misunderstanding, stop needing reassurance constantly, and that relief feels grounding. Not dramatic strength, stable strength, the kind that doesn't depend on validation, doesn't collapse under pressure, and doesn't disappear when circumstances change. You still feel deeply, but reactions slow naturally. You still care, but attachment becomes healthier. You remain engaged with life, yet centered within yourself, and from that centered place, deeper strength keeps forming. Most people think strength is loud, fast reactions, strong opinions, constant proof, but real strength is usually quiet, calm, controlled, almost invisible, and strangely, the quieter someone becomes, the stronger they often are. Modern life rewards reaction, not reflection. Notifications never stop. Opinions arrive instantly. Comparison happens automatically. Without noticing, many people stop thinking deeply and start reacting automatically. Approval begins to feel necessary. Criticism begins to feel personal. And mental exhaustion grows slowly, not because life is impossible, but because attention is scattered. Stoic philosophy understood this centuries ago. You don't control everything. You don't control how people behave. You don't control most outcomes, but you always control one thing: your response, your focus, your emotional discipline, your interpretation of events. That realization changes how life feels. When attention turns inward, external noise loses power, not instantly, but steadily. Emotional resilience begins quietly. It isn't built in dramatic moments. It grows in small daily choices, choosing calm instead of reaction, understanding instead of assumption, distance instead of unnecessary attachment. Sometimes that path feels lonely, not because something is wrong, but because clarity separates you from noise. Many people fear solitude. Silence makes thoughts louder, and those thoughts reveal truth. What matters, what doesn't, Who aligns? Who drains? Individuality grows in that space, not rebellion, not isolation, alignment. Alignment between your values and your actions. Some people won't understand that shift. That's natural. Not everyone is meant for every stage of your life. Forcing connection often drains energy, and drained energy weakens clarity. Boundaries aren't barriers, they're filters. They protect focus, protect emotional stability, protect peace. Self-control develops naturally from awareness. It isn't emotional numbness, it's emotional observation. Anger appears, breathing slows, disappointment appears, perspective widens, anxiety rises, attention stabilizes, reaction is impulsive, response is intentional. Intentional living feels calmer over time. Something subtle happens. External chaos still exists, but internal chaos decreases. You explain less, observe more, seek less validation, trust yourself more. That quiet confidence doesn't need display, it simply exists. Strength rarely looks impressive externally. Often it looks like calm breathing during tension, measured words during conflict, stillness when others panic. This strength grows slowly, mostly unnoticed, but once built, it changes everything. You start realizing something important. Not everything deserves your energy. Some conversations don't need continuation. Some opinions don't need response. Some expectations don't need fulfillment. Energy becomes selective, and selectivity creates peace. Peace strengthens clarity. Clarity strengthens decisions. Decisions shape life. Many people chase happiness loudly, but calm satisfaction usually arrives quietly. Through discipline, through reflection, through emotional honesty, you stop resisting reality constantly. You adapt instead, not passively, stably. Stability reduces stress, reduces unnecessary conflict, reduces emotional fatigue, and self-trust begins growing. Self-trust is powerful. It removes constant doubt, removes dependency on approval, removes fear of temporary judgment. You become grounded, not rigid, just centered. Strength isn't emotional hardness, it's emotional balance. Feeling deeply without losing stability, caring genuinely without losing yourself, standing firm without aggression. That balance takes time, sometimes years, but it's worth building. Because once quiet strength develops, external validation becomes optional. Emotional reactions slow naturally, mental clarity increases, and life feels lighter. Not necessarily easier, just clearer. Clarity changes perspective. You notice what truly matters. You release what never did. Silence becomes comfortable. Solitude becomes restorative. Reflection becomes natural. Strength stops being performance. It becomes presence. You stop proving yourself constantly. You stop explaining unnecessarily. You stop reacting automatically. And something surprising happens. People start sensing your stability. Calm presence communicates more than words. You don't dominate rooms loudly. You stabilize them quietly. That's rare today because most people are overwhelmed, overstimulated, emotionally tired. But calm minds, strong minds, disciplined minds create stability wherever they go, and stability attracts trust. Life still brings challenges. Stoicism never promised ease, it promised clarity. Some situations remain uncontrollable, some outcomes uncertain, some people unpredictable. Accepting that reduces friction, not instantly, gradually. You stop fighting reality constantly and start navigating it wisely. That wisdom protects emotional energy, and emotional energy shapes life quality. Eventually, another shift happens. External noise stops controlling your internal state. You react less, think more, feel deeply, but remain stable. And that stability becomes your foundation. From that foundation, better decisions emerge, healthier relationships form, inner peace strengthens. Strength doesn't need attention, it needs consistency, quiet discipline, clear thinking, emotional honesty. Those build resilience, and resilience builds freedom. Freedom from constant validation, freedom from emotional impulsiveness, freedom from unnecessary stress. That freedom feels calm, not dramatic, not loud, just steady. And often, the strongest person in the room is not the loudest, not the most expressive, not the most reactive. It's the calmest one, the clearest one, the most emotionally stable one. Because quiet strength lasts longer. It doesn't burn out quickly. It doesn't depend on external approval. It doesn't collapse under pressure. It adapts, balances, endures. Strength is quiet, and quiet strength changes everything.